What you need to do is be thankful for the life you got, you know what I'm saying?
They send pressure. Mayfield evades. In trouble. Stiff arm. Throws. How did he do it? First down. Here comes the Hail Mary with the game on the line. And the ball's caught. Caught. It's a miracle. It's Gabriel. Oh, my goodness. This town is going crazy. Goff protected. Another completion. Another short one. Bouncing off the tackle is Montgomery. What a catch and run. Still going.
Good evening, everyone. I am your host, Corey, joined as always by co-host Lucas. How are you this evening?
I'm sentimental right now watching that video because we're really at the end. 3 more games.
Yeah.
It absolutely flew by. I said that every week, but now we're really here at the end.
Now we got two more opportunities to make a little money on the NFL. Man, I'm really gonna miss that. Probably my favorite clip out of that video is the Baker throw. It was just a really, really cool play. Obviously, the announcer made it, really epic too. Jaden Daniels in there. Kind of ironic that, Jaden's in that clip after last week. So I'm sure that's something we'll discuss here a little later on. But let's just kind of get right into it and just, how was your Sunday? Or I guess divisional round, and maybe what did you think about the games?
The most painful Sundays I've had all season. Well, Saturday too. One of the most painful weekends. I think it was 9 different parlays I missed by 1 leg. Granted, some of them were 2 legs, so it doesn't quite count. But man, I had some heartbreaking losses over the weekend. I tried to get one nice parlay hit before the season's over. Of course, I have 3 more chances, but man, I would try to get one nice parlay and heartbreak this past weekend. It's a little bit disappointing there for me personally.
Yeah, what really could have been a monster weekend for both of us really turned into kind of a, meh.
Yeah.
Which, I think the big takeaway I took away from last week's games and just how they ended really was, we talked about it a lot, was just how sharp the lines were.
No, definitely.
And man, you saw it, Obviously, I don't, neither of us kind of predicted, or none of us thought that Detroit was going to lose. That was a wild game to me. The injuries on defense just caught up to them. Goff had a bad game.
Caught up to him.
Yep, finally caught up to him. And then you combine that with the one thing you couldn't do, which was Goff have a bad game. Because if he doesn't have a bad game, maybe if he has 1 turnover, I think it's a different game, and they probably win, in my opinion. But he's what do you have, 4 turnovers or what? No, sorry, Detroit had 5 in total. That's what it was. So
Jameson threw that ultimately the game losing pick.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's the play I'm thinking about as you say that. They kind of seem like they panicked a little bit.
Yeah,
Jameson definitely panicked, but kind of the Lions, they're only down 10. If they score that drive, they're right back in it. But
I didn't care for that play call personally.
Pick.
Yeah, I
mean, that's how they played their whole season, just the trick plays and let your nuts hang and caught up to them.
That's actually, it's interesting that you said that because before living here in Colorado, I was living in Detroit Metro for a few years, which is where I kind of got my first taste of like talk radio, sports talk radio. That's just not something we have in Iowa because we just don't have pro sports. So you just don't have enough to talk about on a daily basis. So they don't do it. But I was addicted to listening to sports talk radio. And so I still listen to actually quite a bit of them. And, that was kind of the one thing that they said too was a lot of callers calling into the show saying that they hated that play call the same as I did. But, you know, they made the same
It
exact
worked
point
all season.
Yeah, they made the same point you did, which is, hey, Campbell and company did this shit all year. So it's not like it was new or they were trying some bag of tricks out of nowhere type of thing. It was, hey, this is who we are. This is what we do. And they stuck to it. So, you know, yeah, I guess I understand that from that aspect too. So it's not like it was them being tricky, right? It's just what they've done all year.
I mean, that's the play I think about because they score that drive, they're right back in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such a deflating play. Jahmyr Gibbs is running so well. They kind of abandoned the run. I mean, they kind of had to, but man, Jahmyr Gibbs was so outstanding.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of things about the game I didn't really agree with or understand. Probably looking back, 14 touches for him wasn't enough. Even being down, I think you should have been giving Gibbs the ball. I don't know what you do differently on defense. They weren't stopping anything.
I mean, it just caught up to him finally.
Yeah. Daniels was just –
they've had so many injuries over the last couple months, and they've gotten away with it, and it's finally caught up to him.
Yeah.
I figured it would eventually. I figured this next week would be the week it would catch up to him, but props for Washington. So in hindsight, I'm not actually surprised that Washington won, but of course I did pick Detroit, but
I think
they were going to advance and losing this next week.
Yeah, that's where I kind of had them potentially losing too was this next week against the Eagles. But maybe in totality, I guess really if you think about it, what they did is I think they just probably overlooked the Commanders. I guess I didn't really expect the Commanders to run it as good as they did. But they got punched in the mouth really early, and I think Detroit was like, oh shit, they kind of come to play. I think they just kind of thought that they were going to be able to roll a rookie QB at home. And, instead you're a first round seed and get bounced. So,
that's good for your Lions fan.
Boy, this last week for a Lions fan has been pretty brutal. You lose as a first round seed.
Go 15-2 and go out like that.
And then you lose your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator. Potentially your offensive line coach is going to go to the Raiders. I can't remember where I saw it that they're saying he might go, but whatever. You're going to lose a lot of guys. And then you look at their contract situation with their players. Boy, you could easily make the argument that their playoff window's gone. It's gone. And not
the playoff window's still here, but Super Bowl window maybe.
Yeah. Sorry, Super Bowl.
There's too much talent to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I misspoke. You're right. Not playoff, Super Bowl window. Now they're probably going to
might be true.
Yeah,
they're going to have a better chance in the past 2 seasons.
Yep.
This year and last year.
And now what? They're going to look a lot like the Steelers or something, kind of middle around and make the playoffs and lose first round or whatever.
I think a little bit better than that.
Yeah.
Most
likely. Depends
likely
on who they get to replace him, right?
I mean, we're a long ways away from talking next season, but there's still way too much talent on offense.
Yeah.
And defense, but
I think if you want to get a Super Bowl, you got to go out and you got to get someone else opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, and you got to get like a Max Crosby.
I've said it all season. If they beat the 49ers, they absolutely beat the Chiefs last year in the Super Bowl. I have no doubt about it. Because Lions-Chiefs Super Bowl, I have no doubt the Lions win.
Yeah. So now
of course, we do the what-if game all day.
Yeah, very true.
What if they beat the 49ers last year? Yeah, that might be it for the Lions Super Bowl window, unfortunately. I like to pull for the Lions. They're one of my favorite teams.
Yeah, obviously there was other games, but that was maybe the more surprising one, I guess. Obviously the Chiefs prevailed over the Texans. I thought the Texans showed out pretty well, all things considered. I kind of almost was worried they'd get embarrassed, and they didn't. There was a lot of chances there that the Texans had plenty of opportunities to, get the game under control and take the lead, and they didn't. And the same thing could have been said for the Rams, right? They lost 20. 28-22. I mean, Matt Stafford just is an absolute beast. Not great weather conditions. They're an indoor team, West Coast, traveled east. So I don't know. I just thought it was a very gritty effort out of them. And then obviously another bigger, big side talking point was the Ravens losing to the Bills off a dropped.
That's the one that really hurts.
Yeah, dropped 2-point conversion. I don't know. We could talk about it maybe a little later.
The fumble and a couple drives before that.
Yeah, I really at first my first thought. Actually, let's hear your first thought after the game. What did you think? I guess.
I mean, I pulled for the Ravens. They're my favorite AFC team. Of course, I'm a huge Lamar Jackson fan. I mean, I like Josh Allen too. I pulled for the Bills too, to be honest. But I was going for the Ravens, and man, that's just so incredibly heartbreaking. For Lamar to go down the field like that without his top 2 receivers and 2-point conversion away from tying it. Granted, Josh Allen could have gone and got a game-winning field goal, but would have been fun to see if he, of course, Mark Andrews caught that. Maybe we get overtime. Maybe we get a nice 2-minute drive from Josh Allen to win it. But for Lamar to go down the field like that and fall that short on the 2-point conversion.
Yeah. Do you put
so incredibly heartbreaking?
Do you put any of that loss on Lamar, play calling, defense? I guess
Lamar did have that one fumble that was ultimately very costly.
Yeah, it led to points.
It's kind of the same thing with Lamar. Like he kind of makes it something out of nothing that they kind of play all the time, and he's done that all season where you get a busted play or fumbled snap and he ends up 30-yard completion or takes off for 20 yards. I mean, it's kind of the same thing as the Lions. You kind of live with it all season and end up costing you. Tried to do a little too much on a busted play and fumbled, and definitely wants that one back.
I think early on when Lamar made those just horrid turnovers, I was like, wow, dude's choking again, costing the team.
I mean, he made up for it.
It's all 100% Lamar. But like you said, then he did make up for it a lot. I don't think you blame all of that on Lamar. It's definitely, in my opinion, I'd say it's like 60% Lamar's fault because the fumble one is the inexcusable one, in my opinion. He was holding on the ball like a fucking loaf of bread, and he got knocked out.
I mean, it was a busted play, just trying to make something out of nothing.
Yeah. But
I mean, in hindsight, just live for another down, just following the ball.
Absolutely.
Of course, that's not how Lamar plays ever.
The pick seemed like a miscommunication, like maybe the receiver ran the wrong route, is what it looked like to me.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, really bad.
Obviously, winning back now,
but then Mark drops the, even with all that, he wills the team in a way to damn near tie the game, and Mark Andrews drops the ball, which is unbelievable. Given he also fumbled it earlier.
What do you do there? You need 2 points on the 2-yard line. You just give it to Henry.
So that's what I wanted to get have a discussion about was why the fuck did you go and get Henry if out of the two point conversion attempts you don't give the fucking ball to Henry? I'm sorry. That was to me was probably the most egregious thing out of all of it was not giving the ball to Henry out of one of those times. My preferred play call in both of them, to be honest, is RPO. Because
honestly,
when you do a rollout like that, you're really condensing the field on accident because he's going towards the side of the field. Now you've just included a 12th defender, which is out of bounds in the pylon, and everyone is already moving that way. So you're getting more defenders towards the side that you're running, which means you're taking away one of the greatest things that Lamar can do for your team, which is run the ball. So I think you need to do RPOs in that situation where he's just reading the end. And you know what? If Buffalo stones Derrick Henry and his 260-pound ass, okay, that's
what I would have done.
Yeah, that's something.
The results either way. That's why he brought Derrick Henry to Baltimore.
Yep.
I mean, maybe he does get stuff, but you don't have to wonder what if.
Yeah, you don't go get a guy like that and you don't
die with that decision.
Yeah, so really bad play calling there, in my opinion. That I I think if you give Henry the ball, even if you just straight up give it to him, I think he gets one of the two.
I mean, I think he gets it, but
Yeah.
even if he doesn't, you don't have to wonder what if.
Yep, 100%. So
they did have a first and goal from the 2 instead of from a field goal. That was the other big mishap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think second quarter.
Yep.
Had first and goal from the 2, and they kicked a field goal.
Yes. I don't remember what happened. There was like a holding penalty or something.
Yeah.
That took them back. So, and then after that, it was they were cooked.
I mean, it's unfortunately been like that for the Ravens for years in the playoffs now.
Yep.
They get to the red zone, they just overthink it and make a simple mistake. I mean, that's what it came down to last year. They just overthought it. Kind of a lot of the same this year.
Yeah.
I guess in the red zone, just fucking give it to Derrick Henry 4 straight times and with the results.
Yeah, they got way too cute. Way too cute. I think the coach, no, you said 4 times. Fuck it. If you don't get in on 4 times, okay.
Just live with the results.
Yeah, I'll live with that.
Yeah, but if Andrews catches that, maybe Josh Allen goes and gets him down the field to kick a game-winning field goal.
That could all be for
maybe he misses it. Maybe we go to overtime. But that what-if game all night. I mean, that was the most entertaining game. I feel like Ravens and Bills. I wanted both teams to win.
Who do you think would have had the
better?
better?
The Bills next week. But
do you think that the Ravens would have had a better chance against Kansas City this week?
Oh yeah, like either team against Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo. So I like Buffalo this week.
Yeah, we actually did get a comment here from Brandon asking Buffalo or Kansas City who you got. So obviously, Luke has given away his who he likes.
I like
there.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes takes him down the field for a game-winning field goal. Sure, I've seen that 20 times before, but I do like Buffalo. I'm not betting either way. I'm not that confident. I'm not.
It's hard to.
Most likely not betting Buffalo.
It's hard to bet against what we've seen a gazillion times already. But
yeah,
we'll
maybe live. If I can get a good number on Buffalo live, then I just may go in live.
Right. So we'll
honestly either way you can live bet that game probably. Whoever goes down 7-0 first, honestly, probably bet either side.
Yeah, it's a 1.5.
You can get like a +3.5 or +4.5 on either side. Probably, you might be able to take it.
It's probably the move, to be honest. And the bonus for the boosts we've been getting are all live.
Oh yeah.
So
I hate that shit. I lose so many of those live boosts. Yeah. Which is why they give me those live boosts. Just about every boost I get is a live boost now. Yep. I hate that so much.
Terrible to use. So what we'll do is we'll get into the conference championship games, and then to finish it off, at the end of last week, I asked you to write down if you were the appointed college football commissioner, what were some things that you would want to change college football. So we'll get to that. Be a little fun little exercise. I wrote down actually way more than 5. Yeah, I wrote down a bunch. So we'll just get right into it. As always, we suggest, shop around on different books. We're just going to show FanDuel just for ease. It's the most common book that most people have or can get access to. So, again, about any of the plays we talk about, make sure you shop around. So the unexpected game of for the conference championship is the Commanders versus the Eagles. I think both of us kind of gave away who we think is going to probably walk away out of that game. Why don't you go ahead and tell me maybe your thoughts on this game?
Well, I do like the Eagles. I'm an Eagles fan. For everyone that does not know that, I think it's kind of a compliment. Not too many people know my favorite team. I like a handful of teams, but I'm an Eagles fan. So I am biased here. But obviously a divisional matchup, the third time these teams have seen each other. They split 1-1 in the regular season. But the home teams won the first 2 games, and you're not surprising anybody with a divisional matchup like this. Although I think Jaden Daniels has taken quite a step since the first time they saw each other. Thursday night was like week 10 or something. And like week 15 or 16 in Washington. That was the game that Nick Foles got hurt and Kenny Pickett had to try to keep the lead and couldn't quite do it. Jaden Daniels had a game-winning drive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Jalen Hurts is back. He's obviously not 100%. He's got that knee issue, and we're not ever going to know if he's actually injured or how severe his knee injury is because they're going to try to undermine that. But, yeah, if you watched that game last Sunday, I wonder if they're going to go to Kenny Pickett. If Jalen Carter didn't have that strip sack, I think it was just a 1-point game at that point. I do kind of wonder if they were going to go to Kenny Pickett because he could not move at all, to say the least.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts.
And even
To the point where you really had to think about going to Kenny Pickett, I would think.
So I was actually looking back. Yeah, because I don't remember the first game where the Eagles won.
Yeah, Thursday night game.
Yeah, it was 26
something
to
like
8,
19-10. It was
26 to 18. The Eagles won.
Yeah, Saquon had a long run.
And then Washington won the second time, 36 to 33, because that was the game I remember I had Washington like plus 10 or something. And in the first quarter, they went down 21-7. And I was thinking, oh my fucking God, it was cooked. And obviously, like you said, Hurts got hurt. And then, that gave the Commanders all the juice they needed to come back in that game. So
yeah, watch Jalen Hurts this week. Make sure he doesn't take any cheap hits because he's taken a few against the Commanders this year. That's for sure.
I know one play that you've already
be watching. At least I hope they do. One
play you already got in that has got incredible CLV is right there. Jalen Hurts under.
That line got nuked.
You got it at
like 201.5.
Okay, I thought it was 205. I couldn't remember.
It was actually moving as I was placed. It was like 203, but I got 201.5.
Yeah. It's odds on that.
Sunday night snipe.
Yep.
Same thing with the rushing yards.
Yeah, he's down to 30.
34.5 or 33.5. I got a couple yards of CLV there.
Yeah. I'm probably going to try and do the same thing I did on Hurts last time. It actually worked out really well because in that first quarter, he ran for 44 yards. And you just immediately hammer the under right away, and you live with the result. If he goes over, good on him.
If you'll get that this week, though.
Yeah, I don't. You're going to have to hope for like another broken play like we got last time. And it just may not ever come, which is fine. But
theoretically, if it did, but I don't think it will this week. I mean, if he does break one for 40 yards, definitely take that live under 70 or whatever.
Yeah, if he breaks like a 20-yarder, whatever, it's an easy under, in my opinion, because his line's probably going to jump up in the 60s.
Yeah.
And he's just not getting 60.
I just don't think he's going to do it. I feel like his knee injury is much more serious than the Eagles would say right now.
Yeah, it's almost similar to last year, right? Is that the same type of body injury he had?
Yeah, he could not run it in the last season.
Yeah, that's what makes the I guess the potential for like a breakaway very unlikely.
Could make it more likely, to be honest, but
really, I feel like he's more
not prepared for him to run necessarily.
Yeah, I just feel like he's more likely to get sacked in the
broken
pocket.
Play. Well, yeah.
He may not have the explosiveness to get out of the pocket there. So
I mean, a broken play for 20 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty simple for the Eagles. Just give it to Saquon. Live with the results. This game right here is why you got Saquon. I mean, you can say that about last week too, but
125.
Yeah, his attempts is 24.5. If he gets anything less than 24 attempts, blow it all up in Philly. He has to touch the ball 25 times.
Yeah, I just don't know. If he doesn't, I don't know how they win the game because their passing game right now is just – it's so broken. It's so broken. I don't know what's wrong with it, I guess. A.J. Brown, he had like 5 yards last game.
Had a couple big drops last week.
Yeah. So
the stats don't quite show it all because there were a couple big drops from AJ and big pass interference call on Devontae. That was like a 40-yard play. And that goes back to our college. We're going to talk about college rule changes.
yeah.
I like the NFL pass interference rule change a lot more than the college pass interference rule.
Can you, if you have Pickett, can you see how the line has moved, like on AJ? Like, what did he open at? I think you can do that.
You can do it some way.
I think if you have Pickett Pro, you can.
I do have Pickett Pro.
I was trying to see. So his line's 61.5.
I'm not sure how to do it for
There you go. Yeah, once you click on it,
There is.
once you click on it, you can see what. So he opened at 65.5. Most of the money is on his under. Not surprising. Opened at 65.5. Wow. But on DraftKings, he opened at 68. Excuse me. So he was way up there. Wow. That's actually really high. The lowest I'm seeing now is some very weird obscure book. You can get him at 71.5. I don't know what the fuck that is. But yeah, he's pretty much 61.5 everywhere. I just don't know
Like
that
you said, these lines are sharp. All across the board, I think.
Well, we talked about it
I mean, are you taking a chance with like De'Ami Brown? He's had 2 huge games in the playoffs. Like, there's just not too much jumping at me right here, to be honest.
The problem is,
they're very, very sharp. Just about every line is
Yep.
right where it should be.
Problem is exactly what we talked about. You start funneling these games down, and the books only have to focus on 2 games, and they're just gonna be ultra sharp.
That's why I try to jump as early as I can on a couple of lines.
Yeah. You know,
if you wait until Sunday, there's zero value. I mean, it's kind of the same for regular season, but
minus
these
EV,
lines are crazy short.
You know, the only thing I would really, I guess, say that you'd want to be doing is you're going to want to try and do some type of builder, like a two-leg builder. I guess if you had to pick something that's an alt line, what are like maybe your 2 favorite alt lines? Probably, obviously.
Well, I did play a couple builders for this game.
Yeah, that was using
your way,
right? Yeah.
Yeah. But one of them, it's kind of shitty for a builder. It's like minus 110 for Saquon, 100 plus, and anytime touchdown. I mean, those are god awful odds, but I think it wins, obviously. Then I did another one with Jaden Daniels.
No. Could probably put Jaden Daniels in there for maybe 40 yards.
Well, I did 35 plus with the your way. Yeah, but I could do 40 plus.
That's
and I did
still
175 plus passing. Not sure what you get without the your way, but you get a little bit better odds with your way.
Yeah. But even 40 yards is 300. That is so juiced. Jesus. Then if you did like what did you say, 175?
If you did 175.
Man, that's awful.
I mean, I got it much better odds with your way.
Yeah. I don't even.
You'd still need another leg. I don't even know I wouldn't do Hurts passing yards.
I wouldn't either.
No, do a different leg than that.
You'd probably want to maybe just add Saquon at some juiced ass line or something.
I don't even know if you can, unless you do 100 plus.
That was Hurts, not.
Which is back to the point. Yeah, you'd have to do 90 plus probably to get a playable line, playable builder there. I mean, maybe 80 plus, but even then, that's asking so much for a builder.
What's the weather supposed to be?
Yeah, I just checked that just now. Chance for snow flurries, not snow like last Sunday, but it'll be cold.
Maybe you just add in
Flurries, but nothing game changing. What you would expect for January in Philly? 30 something and cold.
I mean, really, that's not bad.
I do like that. Just take the money line if it's not too juiced. I mean,
290.
yeah, we come out here. We're supposed to be giving picks, and we don't like too much on the board.
I know
It sucks. So I wish I could just give out all these picks, but very tough this week.
Do you think this game goes under or over? Because I like the under here.
If the Eagles win, it's going under. If the Commanders win, it's going over. I feel like
That's true.
it's gonna be one of those two, depending on who wins. Of course, I like the Eagles, so that means we're gonna have some 8-minute drives and 16 play, 8.5 minutes. Drives.
If you're we give this essentially every week when we come on here is bet spreads or bet percentages. So damn near Earth is on the Commanders spread for whatever that's worth.
But the Commanders win, the game has to go over. I feel like if it's a low scoring game like that, Eagles win.
So this is why I like the Eagles spread and the under is because exactly what you just said. Earth is on Washington, bet percent and money for the spread, and everyone likes the over. So I'm 100% in agreement here with you. I just think for the Eagles to win this game, it's going to go under.
Yeah.
I don't think they care. I think it's maybe going to be an ugly game.
But they don't care at all if they win.
Fuck no. So that's an option there.
I mean, it's kind of cliche to say like, to run the ball, keep the other team off the field. I mean, that's exactly what we want this game. Keep Jaden Daniels on the sideline.
Right.
Just claw away for 5 yards at a time until Saquon takes one, 60 yards.
I mean, under 52.5. Jeez. It's not a bad play there.
No.
Or I guess if you wanted, you could do Daniels instead. I kind of like his rushing probably. I feel like that's always a good spot there.
That's why I like the your way to do 35. Just to avoid that hook there.
Yeah.
There's been quite a few games this year when he's finished like 35 to 39. It's happened like 3 or 4 times, I think, this season.
Oh, really?
If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It was like three or 4 games where he's had that finish between those 4 yards. That 40th yard could be significant, especially if you count for kneel downs. But
like 2 games against Tampa Bay, he had 36. So
yeah, he had like 15 carries or 16 carries for 36 yards, and I think I had 35 for that.
Yeah,
35.
And then his yardage against the Eagles this year was all over the place, 18 and 81.
Oh yeah.
So that's not really helpful. But if you do technically, I guess if you're looking at the head-to-head, the passing prop is the better play. He's had 191 and 258 against the Eagles this year. So take
like
that.
Austin Eckler. It's actually one prop I do like that I didn't bet.
The your way
Austin
for
Eckler's
like
been
180
great.
there. Yeah,
your way you do get.
I was gonna say if you have your way, putting in like 185 there is the play, and then keeping the. I guess, do you like the under better, or do you like the Eagles like minus the 2.5?
I mean, you can do Eagles money line. Well, that's the thing. It depends how you think the game goes. But
True.
I do like Eagles, of course. don't know if I'll bet it just I normally don't bet on the Eagles. I try to stay away from the Eagles. Although I can usually set my bias aside, unlike the Hokies.
Right.
I tried to bet on Virginia Tech. I did my little college recap, and it's very, very easy to see where things went wrong for me this season in college football. With Virginia Tech, I just can't quite set my bias aside.
It's hard.
The Eagles.
You know, we talked about it before. I was telling you that it's just a good rule just to not ever bet on your team.
Yeah. I bet every Phillies game, but that's different.
Yeah.
If I'm doing it for fun, I don't give a shit too much.
Yeah. It's baseball, right? What do you think about McLaurin going? His head-to-head wasn't too bad. He's been consistently getting about 60.
First game, they locked him up.
Yeah.
I think the second game, he had like 61 or something.
Yeah, 60 on the money.
60. I mean, he's going to get the targets, you would assume.
I wonder if probably the better play there for his receptions.
I mean, I like Austin Eckler. Eckler's been playing very well. I feel like he's the X factor there.
For receptions? He's been
getting yards or receptions.
Yeah.
I mean, or the combined line, the rushing and receiving line. Just because I feel like he's kind of better suited for this matchup. Last week, he got a lot of run last week. 2 weeks ago against Tampa. Oh, 2.5 receptions. That's a nice little builder leg there.
Yeah, I was going to say 2.5. Or if you wanted, I'm sure they have the alt receptions there. 2, wow, 580.
Kind of juiced. I like that as a builder leg, but
yeah. I wonder what that
could be an option.
Well, kind of gave out some spots there. This game is a bit difficult in my opinion.
Yeah. But yeah, I do think this game goes under. I think this game is probably difficult to find some good props. Some good overs, I should say. Good over props.
Yeah. If anything, it's probably
the Eagles win it, it goes under.
Yeah, I was gonna say if anything, this is probably just a live bet.
23-17 Eagles, something like that. Commanders end up covering. Depending on what number you got. That did come into play last week a couple times. I think the Eagles opened like 5.5 last week, closed at 6.5. Game ends at 6.
Yep.
Kansas City and Houston opened 8.5, closed 9.5. Game ends on 9.
So, like, for instance,
number you got?
As we're sitting here talking, if you put in Jaden Daniels 185, Eckler 2 receptions, Eagles money line on the your way, which again we understand not everyone has that, but if you do, it's a great option. That's plus 126. It's pretty good. Eckler for that 2 receptions is a good spot, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
maybe I will do one more builder with Eckler receptions.
Yeah. Well,
Kenneth Gainwell to get 1 yard. I like that. With the your way, you can do that. He's going for it for 1 yard. I think his line's like 10.5. Maybe he doesn't get 11 yards, but he'll get 1.
In a rushing?
The builder leg in the your way. Yeah, Kenneth Gainwell. I mean, it's like minus 550, but it works as a builder leg for a your way play.
He's minus 396.
To get 1 rushing yard?
Yes.
Well, that's a builder leg right there. He's going for it for 1 yard.
Fuck, he's going. What's the lowest
I think he had 1 carry for 10 yards last week. But
did he?
He got. Yeah,
I thought he had
more. He got a good amount of work.
I thought he had more.
He had 1 carry last week, if I remember correctly. I mean, he's been playing well. He's been making plays on special teams. He had a fumble recovery last week. That was one of the plays of the week. Or was that 2 weeks ago? Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. He had that fumble recovery.
Where the hell is the damn?
Kenneth Gainwell. That's one of my favorite Eagles. He plays hard as hell. He doesn't get too many attempts, too many carries, but makes the most of it.
Other than last week, yeah, I mean, generally he's been getting about 3 carries.
great at blocking. He's just an effort guy. You love that from your RB2. Whenever he's in there.
And then, in the 2 games against Washington, he's had 4 carries too.
That's the thing. He's getting like 1 or 2 carries, but
yeah,
very confident he's going for it 1 yard.
Yeah, just
one of the cool things with the your way. I think he could get 4 carries. He could go 4 for 20-something yards, but
if you want to get greedy,
20, I don't think I'll get greedy with Kenneth Gainwell, but
you could give him 4 yards. That's,
as a builder leg there.
My 4 yards is minus 247, but
if you want to get a little risky there, that's probably 2 carries worth, but
yeah,
maybe 2 carries worth. Yeah, I like the your way thing. Wish I had that.
Hey, that's 84% on the year. 84% on the year.
That's the thing. He's going to go forward.
And really, all it takes is
a couple carries. He's going to go forward.
Yeah. So
I know you did that a few times with the your way things earlier this season. I didn't get the your way till a couple weeks ago, but
I don't know why you didn't get it. Why you got it so late? But man,
I'm looking forward to those your way plays in the future. I wanted that all season. I was very jealous. Spent a lot of time with the past couple weeks just playing around and seeing the different combos that you can do. Because you get plenty of options. You can really do some fun things. For builders and for a lot of them.
The one thing that the one thing that we talked about, I think that its best feature is that you can take unders on it.
Yeah, that's really what I like with the your way.
I don't know.
And like the head-to-head thing, like you can do the 35 plus rushing yards with Jaden Daniels, and then you can do Saquon to have more rushing yards than Jaden Daniels. Like little correlation kind of plays.
Like you could do
more passing yards than Jalen Hurts. Things like that kind of boost the play and get a little correlation boost.
Here's one for you. Kenneth Gainwell 4 yards and Kenneth Gainwell less than 17 yards is plus 140.
Yeah, things like that. I don't think I'm going to play that. I like to.
Yeah, I'm not.
Risky, I feel like.
I'm not. That's
a good example.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting it. I'm just saying that correlation is crazy. One guy to just finish between less than 17 yards, which, over 50% of the time he's doing. So I don't know, man. There's just some crazy stuff you can do in there that's just very addictive. You could fuck around on it. Fuck Hurts. You could put Hurts in for like 100 yards, 100 and yeah. All right, we've fucked around enough on this. We'll move on.
Yeah, this is a little too much.
So the later game is the Bills versus the Chiefs. I think Earth is on the Bills wanting to win for obvious reasons. So. Wanting them to win, not saying they will win, just wanting them to win.
I think people are betting them too. I guess it's probably even at this point.
Earth is on.
I'm sure it's pretty. I don't think there's a big need there for either side.
So, what do you think about this game?
The books carry the way at this point. What are the Chiefs? Are they 15-2 now, or 16-2 with a playoff win?
Yes,
they're 16-2. Kind of said the same thing all season. I don't think they're as good as their record. Hasn't quite caught up to them. Of course, you have Patrick Mahomes, an all-time great quarterback. He's going to be in those conversations if he wins another one this year. So of course, obviously, everyone's on the Bills bandwagon. But to be honest, I liked either Baltimore or Buffalo in the spot. Whoever ended up winning that game, I feel like that was kind of the AFC Championship game right there.
Mm-hmm.
Ravens and Bills. I feel like these are very. I don't know about even matchup, but I like the Bills. To say the least.
So
the Bills.
Practically, Earth is on the Buffalo spread, which is actually pretty insane.
I think that'll change before kickoff.
Yeah, I don't think that holds. too long, but I think the best play that we've given out of this is the whoever scores first. As long as
Well,
the
yeah,
line,
that's a play, I feel like.
goes to 4.5 either way, I think it's a play.
Yeah, either side. Whoever goes down 7-0.
I'll be honest, I would prefer that Kansas City scored first because I would.
Sure, if you get the Chiefs plus 4.5, absolutely take that, or plus 3.5. That absolutely would be a play.
Well, they're at home. Yeah, they're at home. So yeah.
Unless Mahomes gets injured or something. I mean,
I don't know.
Ridiculous. Take the if you see that plus 4.5 on Kansas City.
See, you say
absolutely,
that.
That's a play.
You say that, but I feel that
Mahomes did go on the injury report this week, so he's got that playoff ankle injury.
Yeah,
he likes to act out a little bit. I think kind of dramatic. Maybe it's not quite as injured as he always is when he's, I don't know, limping and maybe a little bit theatrics there sometimes from Mahomes.
Right.
Most people would say.
You know,
when he's on the injury report with an ankle, of course, he's obviously going to play. They'll give him some nice treatment in the locker room before the game and at halftime.
I've seen somebody put this out on X that because he does do it. It's a fair.
The theatrics.
The theatrics thing is fair. It's true. The other thing is fair is it is a little bullshitty that he acts like he's going to slide and he doesn't.
Yeah, that's the big thing. It's really started to do this season. I mean, he did like 3 times against Houston.
Yeah,
he's slowing down on the sideline.
He's kind of fucking the other team because the other team is letting up purposefully. Yeah, they're letting up purposefully, and he's taking advantage of that. So it's a little. I don't know if I'd call it like taking advantage of the sportsmanship, maybe, but
I mean, it kind of is.
It is, but anyways, where I was going with this is I've seen on X this week is that somebody or people were just saying, just light him the fuck up, and
I mean, if it's going to be a penalty, just go ahead and get your money.
Right.
Worth.
So their point was light him the fuck up, take the 15, and he won't do it again.
There you go. I mean.
And you know when I saw that I was like,
not saying injure him, but just light him up once.
Obviously, you don't want to hurt him.
Don't give him a concussion, but
yeah,
you're not risking to just hit him on his ass.
Just rail him.
Make him think twice.
You know what I mean? Give him a fucking huge hit with your shoulder. Decleat
clean legal hit.
Yep. Decleat his ass. If you decleat his ass, and he goes flying, of course it's gonna. Oh, fucking Chris Collinsworth's gonna be in the fucking booth just fucking jerking his cock.
That's on CBS. So it's gonna be Tony Romo, but
whatever. Either way, Tony's gonna be down on his knees, and who cares?
You obviously can't hit him, so he kind of slows down at the sideline, uses the sideline to his advantage. If I was a defender, I would be not happy with all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's smart. Like it
of course
works.
It's very smart. Very smart. It's just taking advantage of the sportsmanship of the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I'm like some safety, I'm just decleating him, and then I say, don't fucking fake.
15 yards.
Yeah, I'm taking the 15 right in the first quarter, and you know what? Maybe even an unsportsmanlike too, where you fucking stand over him and say, don't ever fake slide again.
I mean, honestly, yeah. I've had coaches say that kind of thing growing up. Like, if you're going to go ahead and get the penalty, just get your money's worth.
Yeah. Well,
15 yards either way. I mean, you could get ejected, but.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't. That early, first quarter, I feel like.
Well, I mean, if you, like, don't have him in the helmet, of course. But.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So.
Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about that because he did that like 3 or 4 times against the Texans.
Mm-hmm. What's maybe one of your favorite kind of plays out of this game? I guess one thing that's not it's a little chalky in my opinion that stuck out to me was just I think you're gonna see Josh Allen give it everything he can to win this fucking game. So that's why like my go-to line right away was his rushing yards or maybe attempts. I didn't even actually look at his attempts.
It was 8.5 for like an hour or two. Yeah, but I bet the yards.
Yeah.
I bet over 44.5, 47
that's
and a half
creep-
now. I'm not sure
yeah,
if you get a
that's-
better number elsewhere, but
It's creeped up
I'm in the
some.
same mindset as you there.
Yeah, I mean,
Honestly,
even
feel
at
better just doing 40 plus to it with a different leg at this point, but
I was gonna say, even at 47.5, I think he goes well past that.
yeah.
Personally.
But I like Buffalo to win, so if you count for kneel downs, 40 plus might be quite a bit safer because I like Buffalo to win.
That would be
I
true.
always count for those kneel downs.
That's always the concerning part when you're
You
playing.
have to with quarterbacks.
You can still
I
get
like
him
the
at
Bills
40.
to win, so
You can still get him at 44.5. Actually, it's a little
Okay.
juiced. It's a little juiced. It's on ESPN Bet for 140. So
I mean, you could do 40 plus probably with a different leg. I don't think that would be too juiced at this point.
no,
Yeah, that was the first bet I bet for this game. Allen rushing.
it's only minus
Yeah,
200.
two other plays in this game.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and give those if you want?
I bet Kareem Hunt rushing attempts. I think it might be 8.5 now. I bet it 7.5. It was a little bit juiced when I got it. I think it's probably 8.5. Yeah. So in the past, I've been an Isaiah Pacheco fan. He's definitely one of my favorite running backs to watch. Very fun to watch him try to absorb the contact. He's got a very unique running style, stomping around out there. But it's been Kareem Hunt the past few games. I think Isaiah Pacheco's very clearly not 100%. I feel like they've been they lean towards Kareem Hunt in the fourth quarter. I don't think Pacheco got any fourth quarter carries last week, but he's definitely. I think it's more 1 and 2 now than rather 1A and 1B like it had been. I would think with Kareem Hunt being number 1 and Pacheco being number 2 rather than 1A 1B. Also, Andy Reid's been very hyping up Kareem Hunt over the past couple weeks. Said some more good things about him last Sunday. I feel like Kareem Hunt. I mean, maybe the rushing yards might be a better play to be honest, but I bet 7.5 rushing attempts. He does probably get 9. I don't think it would hook, but I like Kareem Hunt over Pacheco, which normally would be the opposite. I saw plenty of people on Pacheco last week because he's kind of the fan favorite there over Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
But Pacheco's pretty clearly not 100% right now. So I think Kareem Hunt's the guy to bet.
You know, and he
running backs.
He only got 8 last game, but
I think like 5 of those came in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I feel like they trust Kareem Hunt just a little bit more right now than Pacheco.
Oh, I forgot that you could do that on he didn't get any in the fourth.
It was glitched last week. I know he definitely got fourth quarter carries, but
Wait, what happened?
didn't show up by quarter.
Yeah, it's not working.
Because it was all Kareem Hunt in the fourth quarter, I think, last week.
Yeah, if you do any of these by quarter, he has 0.
It was glitched. It wasn't loading right.
It's showing 0. So
that was my second play, Kareem Hunt rushing attempts.
And you
the third play though.
What did you got him over 8.5? It's still a really good line there.
7.5.
Oh,
I mean, over 8.5 minus. Well, I got 7.5, but it was pretty juiced.
Oh,
8.5, you get much better odds there. Honestly, it could be a better play to be honest with those odds because I played like minus 135, but I was fine playing that juice to get over 7.5. I don't mind that kind of juice. I feel like it's worth it, but
yeah. His yards might be the better play there. You could probably do like a 25.
Oh, there you go. You could do 25 for Hunt, 40 for Josh Allen. What might be a good play?
Oops, get rid of this. Yeah, minus 106. That's really
James Cook.
Oh, I'm on Cook. Sorry. I meant to do.
Yeah, I like Josh Allen more than Cook.
I didn't. Yeah, I thought it was on.
That's good. I was minus 200 for 40. Yeah, I like that a lot better. I mean, that's a good build to play. I would think right there.
40. Just to double check.
44.5. 40 plus. Those look a lot better to me than 47.5.
Mm-hmm. And this is your best odds here, plus 11. That's actually maybe something
that's a good builder. Plus money, 2 leg plus money builder.
Yeah, I might lock that in right now. Actually, I do
have another builder for this game. Pretty simple. Xavier Worthy and Khalil Shakir, 4+ receptions each.
Yeah,
you get good odds in the your way. I don't think you get good odds with the SGP. It's like minus 140 or something SGP, but good odds in your way.
Hopefully that's something they roll out for everyone next year.
I would think so for next season. It'd be fun if they had that for baseball. I hope they had that for baseball this season. That would be very fun.
Oh, that would be interesting. Man, that'd be interesting.
If you get all under Ks, I'd be all over that.
All under Ks, that'd be crazy.
I mean, you could do it on like Bet Rivers, and I think you used to on ESPN.
On weird ass books.
Yeah, we're a couple months away from thinking about baseball. We're not quite there just yet. Yeah, so, if you do 4+ for Worthy and for Khalil Shakir, that's probably a little bit juice now for an SGP.
Worthy reception.
It's like minus 115 or something for your way.
Yeah, 310.
Nope, I got my profit boost. Same game profit boost on FanDuel. I didn't see that earlier. So.
Yeah. It's a bit juicy, but not too bad. We talked about this last week, is it's really hard to pick receivers out of
no, definitely.
For Kansas City.
Honestly, for both of these teams at this point.
Yeah. I think in general,
Amari Cooper hasn't been a big factor. I don't think he had any catches last week, did he? He had like 1 catch the week before that.
Maybe one.
You'd have to imagine that Cooper's more. I feel like Cooper's. I mean, it's a big risk, but I feel like DeAndre Hopkins hasn't been involved either. Kind of the same situation there. So that's why I felt pretty good about Worthy and Shakir both at 4+.
Yeah, the one thing is that Worthy is the only guy I would feel the most confident going to because
I mean, even Kelsey, his lines are not worth it to me.
No,
I don't like Kelsey's odds.
He's the popular pick, but if you've watched Kansas City at all this year, they've given Worthy the ball way more in high, stress situations than I think they've given Kelsey. So
I think so.
He's
the score this week too, Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, in my opinion, he's the future. So that's why
Xavier Worthy game.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one. Oh, definitely. They definitely get creative with him in the red zone and sometimes running the ball.
Yep.
I mean, he's fast as hell. Like, I don't know what is 40 like 4.340 or something. He's
so fast.
Even faster than that. Yeah, he's electric with the ball in his hand. That's all there is to say about that. They get a little creative with how they get Xavier Worthy the ball. Travis Kelce runs like he has a piano on his back. And he still catches just fine. His hands work just fine. He doesn't quite run like he used to.
We opened up my Chinese.
What did that say? Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown. Josh Allen anytime touchdown. Xavier Worthy anytime touchdown.
You will hit a 5-leg plus 3,500 leg parlay. All right, sweet. We're
Josh
fucking
Allen,
cooking
Xavier
now.
Worthy, Saquon.
That's what we'll do to wrap this up. We'll just make a makeshift TD parlay.
I mean, those are the 3 guys I've been eyeing this week.
Worthy would be my anytime out of here. I'd also go Josh Allen.
We had Saquon, Josh Allen, Xavier Worthy are my 3 favorites.
You could also, I think you could also go Cook.
Finding the 4th one, like it's kind of hard.
We'll come back.
Kareem Hunt.
Two out of those guys.
I might do 2 different parlays with that. I do have a couple bonus bets from that.
Saquon, yes.
I mean, it's minus 280, but like, you got to figure he's scoring. Don't love the minus 280, but who else do you trust on the Seagulls offense? I mean, maybe A.J. Brown, to be honest, but
I played him last week. And I played him last week and he fucked me. He ain't going on this.
Yeah,
He
I
ain't going.
understand if you don't want to bet AJ Brown or Jalen Hurts with his knee injury, but
Is it
got
Brian
him
Robinson?
this season. Devontae's due. I mean, with touchdowns, you definitely need a little bit of luck. You didn't have that luck last week with AJ Brown.
Is it Brian Robinson?
I mean, I don't think I'm going to bet a Commander. If you want to bet a Commander,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Commanders are going to score. We can't act like they're not going to. That's why I would think it would be Brian. He had a big game last week.
I mean, if I had to pick one, it probably would be Brian Robinson, but I'm not doing that. Don't necessarily like McLaurin.
I
Plus
don't like
130.
I don't like McLaurin at all.
You don't have. Let's see.
Man, actually, Jesus.
I mean, you could add Saquon yards. Would that be all right? Instead of another touchdown leg? Because I've been thinking about this all week. I was waiting for that profit boost. Hopefully, I get a bigger limit this week.
I was trying to see who the hell scored against them last
Only
week.
$50. Oh, for the Eagles
Yeah.
or Commanders? Robinson twice. McLaurin scored. Ertz scored.
Hurts scored the first game, not the second game.
I mean, I only like those three legs,
AJ
really.
Brown scored the last game, but not the first game.
I wish my limits were higher with this boost.
Hurts was 1 and
I
1.
only like those three, really. I've been thinking about a fourth TD score. I don't like anybody as much as those three.
The problem is
Honestly,
everyone.
might be worth putting Saquon at that.
Yeah. The problem is all of these guys I'm looking at 1 and 1. Everyone went 1 and 1. No one scored. No one scored every time.
I don't think there's going to be that many touchdowns in that Eagles game.
Maybe you just leave them off and you go put someone else back on from the.
I mean, honestly, yeah, I'd rather pick somebody else for that game.
Yeah.
Oh, what if you did Saquon yards though? If you did 100 plus, 100 plus in a touchdown, I might do that. Saquon 100 plus in a touchdown, and then Worthy and Josh Allen. Maybe that's my play.
I feel like.
Well, I like Josh Allen a lot more than James Cook, although
Yeah.
I do think
I do
James
too.
Cook at plus
Because,
145 does look good, but
yeah.
I like Josh Allen so much. He had like 6 red zone attempts last week, rushing attempts.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very clearly the red zone running back in the situation compared to James Cook. He's their goal line rusher right now.
But James Cook did score.
Definitely.
Has scored quite a few times as well.
I mean, sure, I like James Cook.
I mean, he's 72% on the year here, and he scored twice
I like
against
Josh Allen a little bit more.
Yeah, he scored twice. If you really wanted to be crazy, you'd add them both in.
I mean, yeah, I would take Saquon off. Just keep it. Maybe honestly, I do like Kareem Hunt too.
I don't think
Yeah,
I'd take.
like-
I don't think you take
Super-
Saquon off because he's like the only guy who's about guaranteed from that game to score.
I mean, if I'm going like a super lotto like that, I wouldn't even have Saquon on there at minus 280. I mean, I'll do 2 separate parlays at that point.
This would be my preferred play though.
Well, sure, those are my 3 favorite.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of money dispersed out on this. I don't know. I'm really kind of kicking around putting half a unit on something like this.
Well, I sure am.
Yeah.
I mean, that profit boost just dropped for me. So with the boost, let's see, it's 769. I like that 69
Nice.
for those 3 to score. I mean, is that it? Do I even add Saquon yards? It's probably not even worth it, to be honest.
I don't think you do.
Plus 769 boosted. I wish I had $100 boost. I'd put 100 on that. I'll make it 50. Because I do like those.
Do you get cocky? Do you get cocky and you do Saquon first half?
Is that probably close to even money? I mean,
It's plus 105 instead. Probably not. You want to
I mean,
win.
probably not, to be honest.
$7.69. What do I get? $25 on this maybe?
I got
Yes.
50.
I get 25.
Earlier in the season, I was getting 100. Now I'm getting 50. I mean, it could be worse. I was getting 25 at one point, but
Yeah, they've bumped me down to 25.
yeah, they really bumped me down. I think it was after tight end day. I was getting shit boosts.
I think that's what did them in for me too.
A lot
Actually,
changed after tight ends day.
so I locked that in with my boost actually. So 769.
769.
I'll probably just rebet it to be honest, and just do it for a full half a unit.
Allen Worthy Saquon plus 769.
Yep,
That's it. That's the play.
that's the play. And then because I'm
Allen Worthy Saquon. That's the thing. I kind of like that a lot. I'm gonna put a full unit on it, to be honest. For 769. I like those odds
I like them a
a
lot.
lot. I like that a lot. Yeah, I may just bet that twice.
I did bet it twice.
I mean, honestly, maybe you get better odds on a different book. I didn't check. That would have been a smarter thing to do than waste that boost. But of course, we always go to FanDuel first. FanDuel's.
Well, we had to use the boost. Okay, fair enough.
I had to
Let's
use it on
just
something.
just for the people.
I'm actually going to check.
For the people, we'll check what the best one is here. So we wanted Allen, not passing TDs. Anytime.
Checking right now. I'm almost certainly going to get better odds somewhere.
My God, Allen anytime is a plus 100 on MGM. That might be a fucking play in itself.
Well, I can bet like $3 on it, but it's plus 668 on DraftKings.
Oh, do we
So
want
that
to talk
doesn't help
about?
me out at all.
Do we want to talk about that? You randomly got fucking like a parlay that they allowed you to bet like a
Yeah, some of our limits seem to be gone on DraftKings. I can't do like SGPs. I get limited to $3 on SGPs, but I can do parlays now. That's a new change. And normally I can get down as much as I want on straight. Like normally I can bet like minus. I can bet 110 or 120 on a prop,
yeah.
which I think is fair enough.
Yeah. You can bet to win one unit or whatever.
Well, yeah, they'll limit me to like $130 or something. Like sometimes on the teasers, I'll try to bet a little bit more than a unit, like unit and a half. I mean, it's acceptable. It's playable for me. I can bet like up to 150, but
Right.
yeah, I can bet parlays. I bet a couple of parlays last week. Let me bet like $20 on parlays now, not $2. Not as I have a couple free bets to use. I got to figure out those DraftKings King of the End Zone bets. I don't even think it's gonna let me use it on a SGP. I'll try it right now with that Chiefs game. A Super Lotto. See, might not let me see. If I added Allen, Cook, Worthy. I mean, I like Kareem Hunt there more than Kelsey, to be honest.
Oh, I wouldn't bet Kelsey.
I didn't like Kelsey last week.
I wouldn't bet
Kelsey last week and he scored.
No, I wouldn't bet
Kind of a
Kelsey.
busted play too last week. He just got left open.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I bet him in a round robin that I eventually lost, but yeah, I wouldn't be betting.
Not bet Kelsey.
I wouldn't be putting hard-earned American dollars on that.
Probably
button.
not.
I don't even know if there's any.
Oh, I got to do another King of the End Zone.
Yeah.
I pick Saquon and Xavier Worthy. Keep it simple. I think I might have to do that.
I might as well do all three. Fuck, I don't care. Oh, you can't. Damn.
All three what?
The King of the End Zone?
Well, yeah, you can parlay the King of the End Zone bet, the qualifying bet.
Can you?
Yeah, you can do a parlay, and if that one leg hits, you get the free bet.
Oh.
I did that last week. Jameson Williams and Saquon. I mean, they're both in a parlay, and they won.
Gotcha.
Yeah, let me see. It's plus 4,200. Can I use this whole free bet? Please let me use this whole free bet. Let's see. I have $32 and $48. I don't want to waste that. And then I have a no sweat The other king of the end zone. Let's see if I can use this $32 bet. I don't think it's going to let me.
Not a chance.
$32 free bet to win $1,300. Let's see if it lets me. Oh, you can't see this too bright.
Yeah.
Place bet. Place bonus bet. Yeah, see, I got limited to $2. $2.37 on a free bet. I can't even use the free bet.
That's actual shit.
Yeah, that's how it is. I can't do SGPs. I can parlay Worthy and AJ Brown, but I try to waste my free bet. I gotta do something with those free bets. $32 and $48, so I don't want to waste those.
Yeah, you're gonna need to find a spot somewhere that they're just gonna allow you to use it. But
I got $48 for that Saquon King of the End Zone. That's like I was expecting like $2. Saquon King of the End Zone.
$48.
It's a cool promo from Jack. Well, I got 48 from Saquon. I got 32 from Jamison Williams.
Oh shit.
I thought it was going to be like $2 for Saquon.
Yeah, no kidding.
So that's actually a very cool promo from DraftKings.
It's kind of like the King of the Court thing, right? They did the similar thing. Yeah. So, well, let's wrap it up by going over our CFB changes here.
So we do have that one parlay plus 769. We both like that. 3 legs, simple. It's going to be green Sunday night.
We're
Allen,
due.
Worthy, Saquon.
We're fucking due.
Don't overthink it. 3 legs, simple. 3 different teams. That sure as fuck what happened last week. I was 1 leg off on 9 fucking parlays. Montgomery killed 2. Tyron killed another. It was tough.
Montgomery killing one. I actually was fuck.
I knew second quarter he's not scoring. That was
at least you can
obviously
tell.
Was not 100%. I knew pretty early he's chalking.
He was cooked. Yeah. All right, Mr. Lucas, you are now the new college football commissioner. Your first day in office. What rules or changes to the sport are you going to make?
I said last week, number 1 is switch the pass interference rule like the NFL. In college, obviously, it's a 15-yard penalty, so they kind of teach the defensive back. So if you get beat, go ahead and tug them, get the pass interference, take the 15 yards because you can live with that.
Yep.
The NFL, it's a spot foul, so they aren't quite taught the same way in college. If you get beat, go ahead and take the 15 yards rather than get a touchdown. So I'll switch that. That'll be number 1 on my list. Switch the pass interference rule.
Do you want to go back and forth, or you just want to go through all of yours?
I didn't actually write them down. I kind of have them in my head.
Okay.
If you want to say your one, that's my number 1.
I'll say my number 1.
I played defensive back growing up, so that really does.
I was safety. Yeah. The number one change I'm doing is the playoffs are going to be sooner, and we are ending before the NFL playoffs start. Now, I did the math, if you call it that, on this, and there's multiple reasons I want this to happen. The NFL is an absolute fucking beast, and college football is a beautiful, special sport. I say we as the fake commissioner here, we're never going to win against the NFL, and we shouldn't even be trying. They're their own entity. They've been kind of sneaking in on some Saturdays here. Like what the fuck, man?
Black Friday. I mean, anytime they can have a game, people are obviously going to watch.
Of course, people are going to watch.
At 2 a.m., people are going to watch.
Yep. People are going to watch NFL over college. Let's just take ourselves completely out of this situation, and we don't want to compete with them, and that's fine. Let's get people to watch our sport when there is when it's our most important time, and it's not the NFL's. This can very easily be done. So this year, for instance, January or sorry, what did I write down here? Round 1 started. We want to start that on what was week 16 of college football. What was week 16? Week 16 was only the Army-Navy game. We're going to move that. We're done with just Army-Navy. I understand it's very historical. What I want to do with the Army-Navy game, which was another thing I did write down, but it's not one of like the top 5, is we're moving the Army-Navy. It is now going to be the very first game of the college football season every single year. I still want that to be a very special game. Let's just start the season with Army-Navy every single year, week 0.
Week 0?
Boom, Army-Navy, let's go. But if you move that away from week 16, you now slide the block of the playoffs down. So that means that December 13th through 14 is going to be your week, that first round of the playoffs. The 20th to 21st is going to be your next round. 27, 28. Again, this is just this year, how the dates worked out, is your semis. And then your CFP is going to be around January 4th, the very first weekend in January, right? That next weekend is the NFL playoffs. We're done. Boom. We're out of the way. We've crowned a winner, and we're all good to go. That gives us all the attention. That's my number 1 change. All right.
That was going to be one of my points. I didn't quite have it planned out the way you did. I like Army-Navy where it is, but I think we can have the semifinals on New Year's Day and maybe finish up the college football playoff right before NFL playoffs. Maybe that Friday night. I'm not sure how that'll work out with the calendar. I didn't quite have that planned out the way you did, but
yeah,
I do agree with that part. Try to finish.
Yeah.
As much as you try not to compete with the NFL because.
Yep.
Yeah, it kind of sucked having it on Monday. I feel like the hype is kind of dead at that point. If you weren't a Ohio State or Notre Dame fan, you probably didn't care too much. Of course, I watched anyways, but
I still
I
watched
like football enough you watched it, but
yeah,
probably weren't too hyped up about it.
Did you feel like the noise surrounding the game was just very low? Like there wasn't I don't know, I just felt like it wasn't very hyped up.
I mean, I guess that happens when you get Ohio State and Notre Dame. I mean, most people have pretty strong opinions about both of those teams. Probably not the most fun matchup ever.
Yeah, it's what $22 million gets you, right? Championship.
Yeah.
All right, give me your number 2. Number 2 change.
Well, you were talking about week 0, so I know we've talked in the past about FCS games. So FCS games are okay, but you got to play that ideally week 0, 1, or 2, first 3 weeks of the season. You can play an FCS game, but you're not doing that in November.
Hear, hear!
You can start out with a cupcake game, but you're not doing that in November, the way the SEC likes to do it. That was one of my main points.
This should have
wrote it down, but
this technically wasn't my number 2. It was actually my number 3. But yeah, I said all conferences need to play 9 conference games. No more Week 10 cupcakes. Looking at you, SEC.
Okay.
I also put a little caveat in here. All Power 4 teams, you must play one other Power 4 team, and your other 2 conference games need to be a lower, like FCS or whatever team. And the reason I want to implement that is because those lower schools do count on the Power 4. You know, most of those athletic programs are funded by going and playing a Power 4 team and getting paid like $1 million, and that's their athletic budget, right? So I don't want to fuck those schools.
Northern Illinois.
Notre
Dame, they got paid like $1 million or $2 million.
Yep. Northern Iowa, you know, in my home state of Iowa, we got them, and you know, they go play a Power 4 team and they compete real hard, and they shouldn't be fucked out of this situation, right? Yeah. I still want those schools to be able to thrive. So again, the main thing, like you said, everybody's playing fucking 9 conference games, and get rid of this Week 10 fucking cupcake bullshit. Perfect. Glad we actually were the same on that one. Yeah. What's one of your next ones?
Almost 0 neutral site games. There's a few exceptions: Army, Navy, Oklahoma and Texas, Georgia, Florida. I think the only exceptions off the top of my head.
Army
So
Navy's
Virginia Tech plays Army Navy neutral site.
no, they're not neutral. They played at West Point this year.
No, they had it at Landover. Army Navy.
Was it not at
FedEx
West?
Field. It's not
was it-
FedEx Field anymore, but
I thought it was West
no, they
Point.
do neutral site.
I don't know what
No,
I'm
Army
smoking.
Navy's always neutral.
Oh, okay.
So I think those are the three exceptions that I would have. So like South Carolina opens against Virginia Tech next year, but they play in Atlanta. I think it'd be pretty cool if Tech went to South Carolina went to Blacksburg. That'd be
home and home.
pretty
Yeah.
fun. I think that'd be a lot more fun than playing in Atlanta.
So I see
I'm sure it's
you're
gonna
right.
be a great environment either way. I feel like both
Yes,
those
I
fan
see.
bases are gonna come out and probably maybe sell out. Maybe it's probably gonna be close to 50-50 with Gamecock and Hokie fans, but yeah, those neutral sites, I don't necessarily care for those neutral sites.
I like that.
home
I
and
like-
home. Play in Columbia, play in Blacksburg. I don't want to play in Atlanta.
I like that. I
Probably
like
because
that
they're probably going to win
rule.
by 2 touchdowns. I like that. I saw that South Carolina spread. It's like 8.5. I like South Carolina there.
Yeah.
The early look ahead lines. Some of
Yeah.
those week 1 lines are out already.
I really like
South
that
Carolina's
rule.
winning that game. I can tell you that much.
You know, I really like that rule because that's kind of like the big bitch when you do these why Power 4 teams won't play other Power 4 teams is because
Well,
they have to agree on a home and home, and they just most of them won't fucking do it. So
Yeah.
I like that addition. What about would you make that same rule for when they're playing the like the lower team? Like, would you make them do a home and home? Like, say when you know, like if Iowa State or the Hokies are to play, say, like a UNI or whatever, right? Like, are we doing a home and home, or are they just always going to come to them?
So something that Virginia Tech has done, they play at ODU, at
Mhm.
Old Dominion. That's, I'm trying to think what conference they're in right now. They were in the Sun Belt. They moved up.
Yeah,
Are they conference? Either Conference USA. I honestly can't even think of it. That's part of the point. I'm not
right.
even sure what conference ODU's in because they've moved a couple times. But Virginia Tech, you could argue they benefit absolutely nothing going to ODU, playing at ODU, especially considered they've lost 2 times in ODU. They played 3 times. First 2 times they lost. Now, obviously, that was a devastating loss. It's everything for ODU for Virginia Tech to go at ODU.
Yeah,
Like that's their national championship. That's their Super Bowl.
yeah,
They beat us twice in Norfolk because that's the game they're preparing for. They're thinking about all spring, all summer. They're thinking, oh, Virginia Tech's here. One time it was week 1, like 2022 we lost, I think. In 2018 we lost in Norfolk. So I mean that depends on the school. I do not like that Virginia Tech does that because we don't gain anything going and playing at ODU. We have everything to lose.
yeah.
Of course, part of the reason was that we did that is that's such a great recruiting region. That Tidewater region, that's one of the best recruiting regions in the entire country. And so many of those recruits, they're going to the Big Ten and SEC. Penn State's coming, and Ole Miss and Florida, and they're taking these Virginia recruits. Virginia is one of the top high school football states in the country. Especially
Right.
that region over there. But they're not staying in state. When Frank Beamer was on his run, they all went to Virginia Tech. Best players in Virginia, they went to Virginia Tech. But obviously that has not been happening in the past 10, 15 years. So that's a different story for Virginia Tech.
See, Iowa
So
State.
whether Iowa State would go at Northern Iowa, I'd imagine they probably would not want to do that. Of course, Northern Iowa would say we can play anywhere, anytime at our place.
Right.
And honestly, they could lose by 3 touchdowns. They'd still probably be happy about the experience, but
Oh yeah.
and the revenue. But so for Virginia Tech in that situation, I absolutely think it's not worth it. I do not like that we have some of these road games. I wish our out of conference schedule was a lot more fun. We have a boring out of conference schedule.
Yeah, it's
Overall.
actually interesting that you bring up that Virginia Tech goes to Old Dominion because like this last year, Iowa State did schedule the last 2 years a home and home with Ohio, and the reason they do that is the exact same reason that you just mentioned. Is Ohio obviously is a very great recruiting ground for almost all schools, especially Iowa State's Midwest based. So 2 years ago, they came to Iowa State, and then we went out there this last year. You know, everyone said it was a dumb thing, but for a lot of these kids who live around there, it's a very easy game, an extra game probably, that they can go watch a school that they're being recruited by. Iowa State and Virginia Tech are on different levels, let's just be honest, than a Ohio State or, you know, Penn State or fucking Alabama. Right? You know, we're not in that stratosphere. So that's something we do. But it would be interesting if you forced all the schools to go play one of the FCS schools. You have to do.
Okay.
Not saying I would be super sold on it.
Alabama at Northern Illinois.
Yeah.
Ohio State at Kent State. Can you imagine that?
Yeah. I'm not
saying they played
it's
Kent State and Ohio State.
Yeah.
They played at Kent State.
It's a very
obviously Ohio State would never in a million years want to do that, but they technically were forced to. You have to play at Kent State.
Alabama.
You can't have 8 home games.
Alabama's at Mercer this week. So, I don't know. That's an interesting thing to think about. Because if we're really concerned because we're going to have them play 2 FCS teams to help those programs out, think about the extra revenue you're giving those programs by going there, right? They're going to sell out the game, guaranteed.
Yep.
Concessions, hotels, parking. This is all extra revenue for those schools in one way or for another. The hotel's not so much, but the town, right? So I'd almost lean towards I'd be making the schools go do to an FCS school. You're a fucking Power 4 team, man. You're making $50 million a year. Go fucking suck a cock, man up, and go to these schools. So,
I mean, I'm for it. They're obviously not going to be for it.
Yeah, of course they're not. I don't give a shit. That's why I'm the commissioner, man.
But if you're the commissioner, I mean,
I'm the king, baby. Do what I fucking say. So, yeah, I really like that one. My third one is I am moving the transfer portal window. That's probably one of my bigger annoyances. The playoffs were going on, and you had kids entering the transfer portal. Famously, Penn State, right? Their backup QB entered the transfer portal just because of how the window works and the length that it's open.
Yeah. All
these other things. Transfer portal window now would not open until after the college football playoff. So you can see how these things kind of build on themselves. I've moved the playoffs further. They're ending sooner. So now the kids don't have to wait as long. Essentially at the beginning of the year, the window's open now because the playoffs end, that first weekend in January. And I'm also cutting down the window to just one. No more transfer portal window after spring ball. I don't understand that one anyways. It doesn't really make sense to me. It's going to be open after the CFP for whatever length of time that they want to decide. I don't know, a month or whatever. There's obviously going to be some stipulations. I kind of tried to go down the rabbit hole, but it got real hairy about what happens when a coach is fired, things like that. Yes, you need to be able to give them an opportunity to leave if they want. But try to keep this discussion simplistic. The transfer portal window is one, and it's after the playoffs.
Okay.
So another one you got. I think we got 2 more.
The one I have is I need 2 more.
Yeah.
So one I was thinking of earlier today is I want protected rivalries. Of course, a lot of conferences have protected rivalries, like Tennessee and Alabama play every season. I don't think they're in the same division, but they play every season. The ACC used to have that kind of thing. I think they do have it with one team. I think Virginia Tech and Virginia, of course, play every season, but
right.
I want some more out-of-conference protected rivalries and in-conference rivalries, but the one I'm thinking about is West Virginia and Virginia Tech. My AirPod just died. We've been on here for an hour and a half. So, out-of-conference protected rivalries, and the one I'm thinking of is West Virginia and Virginia Tech.
If you ask
Ooh.
most college football fans,
That's
who's
a good
Virginia Tech's biggest rival? Most people are going to say Virginia, or
Mhm.
even Miami from Big East days. But honestly, I think Virginia Tech's biggest rival is West Virginia. I went to that Tech and West Virginia game. Was it 2022 or a couple years ago? And that was such a fun environment. West Virginia, Virginia Tech. That was such a fun environment. I know some people that went to Morgantown. I didn't make that trip, but I wish they played every season. I can try to think of a few other non-conference rivalries. I mean, I love to play Tennessee every year too, as a Virginia Tech fan, but that one in particular, the Black Diamond Trophy, West Virginia, Virginia Tech. I think it's a shame that they don't play every season. And I don't even think they have anything scheduled for like the next 10 years, anyways.
See, that's
It should not happen because that's such a good rivalry. I mean, it really is. I think Tech's biggest rivalry, especially now that I've gone to Tech and lived in that area.
a
mostly
really interesting one.
biggest
I didn't
rivalry.
even.
That one means a little bit more. I feel like.
Yeah,
Kinda
I
bad
didn't
that
even.
it's early, of course, but
I didn't even
I
know
was
that.
that would happen every season.
See, I didn't even know that one. And you said it was a Black Diamond Trophy.
Yeah,
Never
they
knew
have a trophy
that.
for it because they used to
Yeah.
play every season, but they don't anymore.
Yeah, I didn't
And
even know
there's
that.
a few different rivalries like that. They just don't play every season anymore.
Yeah,
With the way conferences have changed and realignment, it's maybe a little bit tougher for some schools to schedule, and they don't want to schedule. But yeah, that one in particular, I didn't. I know there's a few other rivalries like that. They just don't play it like they used to.
I think
maybe Texas A&M, they didn't play for 10+ seasons. I think. They played this past season. That was the first time in like 10 years.
long time. Yeah, this was the first year they played.
I mean, that shouldn't have happened. If I was the commissioner, they would have still played, even though they weren't in
Yep.
the same conference. So protected rivalries, protected conference rivalries. Everyone's gonna have protected conference rivalries. So Tech should play Miami every year. Tech should play UNC every year. Tech should play Virginia every year, and West Virginia.
That's a
Kinda
really
gets
good
boring,
one.
but
I
They
do
should
like
play every
that.
season. There's no reason why they shouldn't. At least
I like-
Virginia, West Virginia.
Yeah.
They should play every single season. So it's one of the best rivalries in college football. It's a damn shame they don't play every season. It should happen every year.
But it's weird to me because West Virginia seems to keep up its rivalry with Pitt
Yeah.
more
I mean,
than
Pitt's number one for them, and I think Virginia Tech will probably be number two to be up for them.
right.
People don't care about them in the Big 12. Like, who's the biggest Big 12 rivalry? Like, I don't think it's anybody. I think it's Pitt and Virginia Tech for West Virginia.
In football, nothing. I mean,
I don't think
but
anybody hates West Virginia. besides Pitt.
West Virginia and Iowa State have a pretty decent rivalry in basketball because of when Bob Huggins was there.
Oh, okay.
But like he's been gone and they've kind of faltered off, and even when he
Yeah.
was there towards the end, so it's like
What a character.
it's not. Oh God,
He's a character.
we've never really
It's the
thought of
funniest way to get pulled over for a DUI.
Yeah.
He didn't even know where he was. Outside of a Taylor Swift concert. He's
Yeah.
just driving.
Yeah,
He didn't even know what state he was in. Just happened to be outside of a Taylor Swift concert.
which is unbelievable, honestly.
Shout out to Bob Huggins, man.
Yeah, dude,
Don't
he's
ever drink and drive. I'm not condoning drink and drive, but that's one of the funnier ways to get arrested.
yeah.
Not that drunk drive is funny, but the way he got arrested.
The way he got arrested was
Yeah.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Outside of a Taylor Swift concert. Didn't even know what state he was in.
But yeah, so West Virginia more thought of us as a rivalry, and I love their fan base, but like you're right,
Oh, it's a great fan base. They breathe
just-
Mountaineer football.
they're so far away from everyone that it's hard.
Yeah.
Like you don't interact with their fans as much when they're not that close. Like,
Yeah.
Obviously there's social media and you talk shit on social media and stuff, but like they don't really have a real rivalry in the Big 12 because we've never really thought of them as that way. In basketball, obviously it's always been Kansas and Kansas State. In football, no. So yeah, I really like that's actually really good because the rivalries in college football are unmatched in any sport. So anytime you can protect that stuff, I'm a fan for that.
Oregon State. I don't think they play anymore.
That needs to go back.
That needs to go back.
Well, the Pac-12 needs to
Oregon not
exist
play every
again, in
season.
my opinion.
Well, maybe that's my fifth one. The Pac-12 comes back.
Yeah.
'Cause I really do not care for the conference realignment. Of course, I understand it, and it's a damn shame that I was a Pac-12 fan. I want the Pac-12 to come back. The real Pac-12. Can that be my fifth one?
Yeah. So I'll actually give what was my
This is
second
really
one. I'll give what was my second one. we're getting rid of this fucking bullshit playoff committee. They're going. They're gone. I don't need a group of people who are from who the fuck nowhere that I'm supposed to like say they know football better than me or anyone else. Not that I'm like some football fucking god, right? But like, come on now. I don't need a set of people to fucking tell me who the best teams are. I want to do what we do with NCAA basketball. Okay. We have quad 1, quad 2, quad 3, quad 4 wins. We're going to somehow figure out how we're going to quantify a quad win. Obviously, a road game would count. What's the rule in basketball? It's like a road win by 3 or something or whatever. No, it's on the road and a team is a top 25. It's a quad 1 win or something like that, right? There's rules there for what constitutes the quadrant of the win, right? So, and then I'm going to implement non-biased fucking models. Sorry, ESPN, FBI, you're fucking gone because it's very clear that your ranking, the way you do your FPI rankings are biased to shit towards the SEC. I'm using KenPom, I'm using Massey, and I'm using, I'm blanking on the third one, but we're doing an aggregate of those 3, which generally all 3 of those are pretty even anyways. But when it comes down to it, you're going to score them and you're going to look at the quadrant wins. And that is how we're going to rank the teams in the top 25. And that is how the selections will be made for the playoff. Obviously, I guess to add little caveats to that, I still personally like the conference winner gets a bye, but it needs to be massaged out a little bit better because what you saw with the Big Ten, where Ohio State kind of got a better draw than than Oregon, right? Like Oregon got a shitty draw. There's some finagling I think that needs to kind of be done there to massage that. But essentially my goal is I want this to replicate the NFL as much as possible because no one really bitches about the NFL playoffs, right? You're like, yeah, that's who should be in, right?
Yeah, they kind of did with the Vikings.
Yeah.
14-3 and have to go on the road.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but that's the first bitch in what years, right? So for the most part, people are 100% like, hey, they played the games. That's the record. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. And yes, I am somewhat a component of strength of schedule, but however, if you look at, some of the teams that, their strength of schedule that won games or almost won games, for instance, Indiana didn't have that great strength of schedule and it lost to the 2 college football championships contenders. So I don't know. What do you want to say there? Arizona State's wasn't that high, and it should have beat Texas. Notre Dame, who was in the championship, was in the low 40s, damn near 50. So I don't know. There's some stuff that needs to be done there. Most of those models I gave, like with Massey and KenPom, or not KenPom. No KenPom. They have a strength of record or schedule built in there. So that kind of handles itself. But yeah, sorry, committee members, you're fucking sitting around in a hotel with free food bullshit.
Yeah.
Ride is gone. We don't need you. It's over. So, all right. What's your last one?
Was that 5 for me?
Your next one will be 5. Yep.
I thought I gave 5.
Well, you said
marijuana is allowed. You can smoke marijuana. Take marijuana in ways you want.
Okay. Technically, I guess
like all those painkillers and pills that they get on. I mean, that's more of an NFL problem, but I'm sure it's probably in college too. Not quite to the extent as NFL, but yeah, we're not testing for marijuana anymore. We're pro marijuana in this day and age in the NCAA.
I guess you
honestly
did
say they might not test anymore. I'm not entirely sure about that, but
I don't know.
I know the NBA doesn't, and the NFL, I don't think they do anymore. College was thinking about it. I don't know if they actually did it.
Yeah. Technically, I guess you did say. I forgot you
I was
said.
thinking about that. They're thinking about one of the points.
Yeah, I
earlier.
forgot you did say you wanted to bring back the Pac-12, which I agree with.
Yeah. Oh yeah, bring back the Pac-12. That's another one. The real Pac-12.
The real
They're trying to
Pac-12.
bring it back with San Jose State and whoever else, but no offense, I want the real Pac-12 back,
Right.
which is never going to happen, of course. But
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if I'm the commissioner, but the real Pac-12, and give them a real TV network, not that fake Pac-12 network. Part of the reason why they died.
Poor management on that. Yeah.
I mean, just poor management, obviously, all around by the Pac-12.
It
didn't have to come to this.
No, and it shouldn't have, to be
It
honest.
shouldn't have, but it did.
Really, it really ruined college football because now the conferences
their
are
fault,
bloated. Now the conferences are bloated, and not everyone plays every
Yeah,
team.
I'll fix the conferences.
Yeah, that they got to get fixed. You need to play.
Maybe that's what I'll do. I'd rearrange some of the conferences.
Yeah, it needs to be geographical again.
Yeah, make some a little bit more geographical sense.
Yep. It's a tie between my last one, but I have some other ones that I'll just give as honorable mention. But I think what's most important to me for my last one is that it's going to be home games until probably the semifinals and the playoffs. I know I said this last week.
Yeah.
And the reason I want this, again, replicating the NFL model, something that already works. The NFL has home games. We are going to have home games. We don't need these bowl suits with – like Ohio State won like fucking 3 bowl games. What are we – no. Why? Stop.
Yeah.
There's no bowl game with the NFL. It's all leading up to the one pinnacle peak fucking top thing, Super Bowl. Okay? So home games up until the semis. I could be swayed that you say that the semis are bowl games. I could probably be swayed, but I would prefer that they are home games. And then I wrote down a couple things here. My first thought was that I want the championship game to constantly be sponsored or be called something like for forever. It's not rotating, right? It's not a rotating bowl game.
Okay.
Because the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl. You know, the NBA playoff is the World Series, the World Series. You know, it's not it's the World Series Peach Cup or whatever, right? It's the World Series, the Super Bowl. Okay.
Presented by Capital One.
Yeah, presented by Capital One, right? So my thought is I don't like this, but I looked it up, which I kind of already knew the answer. I kind of want the championship game to be sponsored by the same bowl every single year. And I was like, wow, what's the oldest bowl game? And generally it's going to be the most. Yeah, it's the Rose Bowl. It's what I thought it was. It's the Rose Bowl. Started in 1902. Annually, it's been played annually since 1916. So if you said the college football national Rose Bowl national championship game and you get that trophy as the end, like that's pretty cool, right? Like it's always going to be the Rose Bowl. It's always going to be there. Now, the one thing that if we do that, I don't want it always to be in fucking California. I want it to be more like the Super Bowl where it goes around, right? The problem is you're going to have the Rose Bowl people would never buy off on that, right?
Yeah.
So then you may end up having to switch the name or something, which I don't want to do. I want it to always be the same presenter. So if I could get it that way, that's what I'd want it to do. I'd want it to be the national, the college football national champion, Rose Bowl national championship or whatever. I just think it would make it a little more special. And then that leaves some of those other prestigious bowls to still be played by other teams. So that's my 5. Did you have any honorable mentions, I guess, that you thought about?
I actually do have one Virginia Tech related. I saw somebody on Twitter say the other day that Virginia Tech should open the season on Thursday night. national TV game.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're much younger than me, you wouldn't remember Virginia Tech on Thursday nights, but they've made Thursday night football very popular over the years on ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
The ESPN guys, they love Blacksburg. They love Virginia Tech. Fortunately, Virginia Tech hasn't given too many reasons to come to Blacksburg over the last 10 years, but
Right.
Thursday night football in Blacksburg, that was a very big thing for, I don't know, about 15 years or so with Frank Beamer.
Yep.
It was a big deal to be on Thursday night football in Blacksburg. That's a Virginia Tech related one. I guess I can give 5 more Virginia Tech ones probably.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech opens the season on Thursday night, national TV.
That's a good one. I like that.
I mean, I like that as a Virginia Tech fan, of course.
The two I have, and I almost moved this one up higher, but I just felt those other ones were more important. We talked about it last week was the targeting rule. It's going to targeting 1, targeting 2. You're not getting ejected unless it's targeting 2. Targeting 1 is.
Makes sense.
Yep. The other one, I didn't even think about this one until this year, honestly. After the third OT, there's no more timeouts.
Okay.
You saw Georgia when they were playing Georgia Tech call a timeout every OT. Yeah. No, sorry. No, we're not doing that. That's going away. Stop. It's
I actually
already
changed the
gone.
overtime rule. Now that we're on here, I guess I can think of a few more.
Yeah.
The overtime rules are fine a few years ago, but they switched it. That was it. LSU and Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
It was 74-76 or something because they went
yeah.
7 overtimes.
Yeah.
I think was it 6 or 7.
Yeah. It was crazy.
And they switched the overtime rule.
Yep.
I mean, they were fine the way they were a few years ago. Go back to the older overtime rules.
Yeah. I actually didn't mind those, to be honest. Either.
I didn't mind it.
But
But that one game went to, was it 7 overtimes?
yeah. The overtime rule, the overtime timeouts have to go away.
Okay.
You don't need them, in my opinion.
Mhm.
The other one is because